Okay, you're welcome to Plus TV Africa. Good morning. My name is Rume Paulson. It's the 3rd of January 2024. Happy New Year to you. I know what you're saying. How come we're already in the third day? Day 3 out of 365. January is already running. I can tell you that for sure. Welcome to today's breakfast show. We'll be looking at several hot topics, one of which is federal government has adequate budgetary provisions to meet foreign and local debt obligations, according to the DMO. And Tinubu tasked governors on grassroots development. We'll also be taking global stories that made it to the front pages of our national dailies, as well as some top trending stories. But first, we'll check out our quote of the day. But I want to let you know that today is International Day of Mind, Body, and Wellness. So whatever you're doing, make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Your mind is important because that's what we're really talking about these days when we're saying mental health. So you need to take care of your mind, you need to take care of your body as well, and you need to ensure that you are well in every single area of your life. All right, so now let's go over to our quote of the day. And our quote says, what the new year brings to you will depend a great deal on what you bring to the new year. And that's according to Vern McClellan. He's an author, and he says, this morning, what the new year brings to you will depend a great deal on what you bring to the new year. So you know how they say new year, new me? Yeah, it's never really that, because whatever you're bringing is never a new thing. It's who you are, but you're just getting better. So whatever you're bringing into the new year depends, or whatever the new year is going to give to you, depends on what you bring to it. So are you bringing a positive mindset? Are you trying to achieve all of those goals? Are you setting them, ensuring that you have a vision board for yourself and say, these are the things I want to achieve in 2025? If you're not going to have all of that, I'm sorry. Nothing is going to happen for you. You're going to stay in the same place as you were in 2024. But that's not the case, because we believe in you and we know that you can do such great deal. So whatever you think the new year is going to bring to you, well, it depends on what you're giving to it. So ensure that all of those goals, all of those dreams, they're laid out. You're seeing the vision, plain, with clarity, and then you just start to achieve it. All right, let's move over to our top trending stories. This first one says, New Year, Ooni tells Nigerians to shun greed, embrace integrity. The Ooni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, has charged Nigerians to shun any temptations that could lead to covetousness, stressing the need to embrace hard work and integrity. The monarch, in a statement issued by spokesperson Moses Olafere, tasked Nigerians to uphold the integrity of hard work, compliance with due process and the rule of law, to devoid of nugatory emotional sentiments, irrespective of good intentions. Ooni also charged leaders in politics, civil service, and the private sector to prioritize the welfare of the masses and employers, stressing the importance of fostering a supportive environment for employees and underscoring that leadership entails responsibility for the well-being of others. In quote, he says, let us not allow covetousness to destroy the wealth of our nation. Think about your staff, manage them well, and do not make life difficult for them, he said. He added that as 2025 promises opportunities to address the challenges Nigerians have faced in the past 18 months, unity and selflessness will be critical in building a nation, a prosperous and peaceful one. While acknowledging the sacrifices made by Nigerians, the revered monarch expressed confidence that their patience would yield dividends in the coming year. Well, kudos to the Ooni, because I mean, that's what we want to hear, actually. We need our leaders charging the people and steering them in the positive direction. Greed has become the order of the day, and I mean, you see people go into politics, all they're trying to do is siphon money, public funds for themselves. And I love the fact that he's talking about this, but let us remember that it's not just for the, average Nigerians. The people, the leaders, the people who are up there, they need to hear this more. They need to take this home and ride with it, and knowing that the monies that have been, put in your own care, is for your constituents. It's not for you. It's not a personal fund for you to do whatever you want to do with it. It's not by, buying luxurious cars, having luxurious trips, and, for you and just your nuclear or extended family. It's for Nigerians. So if we're going to shun greed, that starts with the top. It has to start from there, and it trickles down. Because the truth is, corruption is not just a one-day thing. It's not just a one-person thing. It is everywhere. And if we're saying that we want to be able to curb corruption, we want to ensure that from the top to the bottom, we're weaving it out. We're taking it out entirely. And so another thing he also talked about was integrity. We want our leaders to have integrity. We want them to be accountable for their actions. We want them to be transparent. We want them to be responsible leaders. And that's the only way you can even be a transformative leader. Because if you're not going to have integrity, if you're not going to have accountability, if you're not going to have transparency, then what are we really talking about? So, I love the fact that this is coming from a monarch, but my point is maybe we should start from the top, start from your friends, start from your colleagues, and then it trickles down to every single Nigerian. So kudos to the Ooni for saying that. It even takes a bold step for someone to be able to come out to say that, which I very much appreciate. And I hope that everyone can take this into account and start to become better people, better citizens, and stop, going after whatever they can get at the detriment of other people. So shun greed, embrace integrity, and Nigeria will just be a better place. All right, another top trending story says, new withholding tax policy begins. The federal government has commenced the implementation of the 2024 withholding tax regulations, signaling efforts to modernize Nigeria's tax system. Approved by President Bola Tinubu in July 2024, this regulation, which is designed to streamline compliance processes, reduce inefficiencies, and ease administrative burdens for businesses, has taken effect from January 1, 2025. These changes are particularly aimed at small and medium enterprises, manufacturers, producers, and farmers, sectors considered vital to Nigeria's economic stability and growth. Announcing the commencement of the new tax regime on New Year's Day, the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Oyedele, said on his X, formerly Twitter account, as part of the ongoing fiscal policy and tax reforms, the 2024 withholding tax regulations, which was approved in July 2024 and published in the official Gazette in October 2024, take effect today, 1 January 2025. He further highlighted several transformative features of the updated policy. Among them is the exemption of MSMEs from withholding tax compliance, a move expected to alleviate administrative challenges and financial constraints, thereby fostering growth and innovation in the sector. Businesses with low profit margins will also benefit from reduced withholding tax rates, which are intended to improve cash flow and lower operational costs. The new regulations exempt manufacturers, producers, and farmers from withholding tax obligations, a measure aimed at strengthening these critical sectors to ensure their sustainability and long-term growth. Tax reform bills, well, a lot has been said about this, and well, now it has taken effect, which is the withholding tax. The beauty of this, which a lot of people do not really agree to, but the beauty of this is for small and medium-scale enterprises, they get to benefit. So if you're not making as much, you don't have to pay as much taxes. For a long time, it's been the same across board. There's been a threshold, and you have to still pay the same taxes, whether you're earning little or you're earning a lot more. So if you're earning about 20 million or you're earning 500,000, you're still paying the same thing. But what this has done is to ensure that if you're earning smaller, if you're earning a lower income, what you're doing is you're paying lower taxes, which is great because at the end of the day, there you have more money to be able to run your business. You're not thinking of how, the taxes are getting a whole lot of the money that you make or a whole chunk of it. But a lot of people still do not agree with it. And especially people from the north, which is quite unfortunate. But I know that the tax reform bills, it would take a while, for us to start to see the dividends from it. But sometimes we just have to, just accept whatever it is and ensure that, the people that we voted in are going to do the right thing. to enable us have a better business environment, because a lot of businesses are struggling, if we're being honest with ourselves. In fact, it's been said that so many businesses have closed down in 2024. Eateries, nobody really goes there anymore because you're thinking of how much you're earning. It's not even enough to sort out your bills. So is it about going out to eat, or is it about taking luxurious trips, or even just a basic vacation, or even buy a new car? In fact, most times you can't put food on your table, you can't pay your rent, you can send your kids to the best schools. You're just thinking of so many things. So for businesses, especially farmers, producers, manufacturing businesses, small and medium scale enterprises, this definitely is, is good for them. It's a positive thing that I think we should all embrace. And, kudos to the federal government for bringing reforms. I know that not everything has worked in the past year, but I'm sure a few of them will probably just start to yield dividends really soon. And moving over to our final top trending story, this also talks about the tax reform bills. It says Reyenieju tells NLC to be nationalistic in its approach. A former three-term member of the House of Representatives, Daniel Reyenieju, has urged the Nigerian Labour Congress NLC to adopt a more nationalistic approach to the tax reform bills currently under consideration by the National Assembly. Reyenieju describes the demand for the withdrawal of these bills as not only misguided, but also demonstrates a misunderstanding of the country's democratic process. According to him, it is absolutely absurd for the NLC to call for such an extreme measure. In his words, he says parliaments serve as platforms where stakeholders can present their perspective, engage in meaningful dialogue, and influence proposed legislation. Instead of undermining the legislative process, the NLC and other stakeholders should mobilize its members to provide data-driven arguments, engage constructively with lawmakers. The NLC's call for withdrawal is a blatant disregard for the legislative process and undermines the potential for genuine progress. I urge the NLC to abandon its ineffective tactics and embrace a more constructive approach to influencing policy. So, the NLC obviously had come out to ask for the withdrawal of the tax bills. Another thing they're talking about is the wage award, and they're saying that it doesn't benefit everybody. And so they've urged, the president, the National Assembly, to ensure that they take out the tax reform bills and look for something that is maybe a little bit better. But what Reyenieju is saying here is you have to be nationalistic. Just because it doesn't, work for some people, or some people are crying that it's a bad reform for them, how about we're looking at everyone, holistically, the whole nation, and say this would actually work for us? I understand where the NLC is coming from. Of course, they're fighting for the people. They're fighting for the common man in Nigeria, which is great, and we applaud them. But also, just like Reyenieju has said, let us be nationalistic about it. So, and I'm sure that's what the NLC is driving at, because of course we've seen, fuel subsidy gone, we've seen electricity tariff, increased. We've seen obviously now these tax reform bills that have come to stay as well. There's so many things, so many changes that have happened in the past 18 months, some of which have not been bearable for Nigerians because it's just seemed like an extreme measure and we just don't know how to find our balance. But like Reyenieju has said, I'm sure he's coming from one angle. The NLC is also coming from another angle. At the end of the day, we just want a nation that is better for everyone. We want a nation that is progressive, a nation that is thriving, that is flourishing for Nigerians, because we are a country that is so wealthy. Sadly, we're just not seeing it. We're just not seeing, the things that we've been blessed with materialize. We have so much as a nation. We have tourism, we have agriculture, we have oil, so many things. We do not have natural disasters. Do you know how blessed we are as Nigerians to have a nation that do not have natural disasters? So we can grow our foods and we can eat and we can live lavishly if we want to. The only sad part is that, the leaders that we've elected so far in the past 60 years, the people that have ruled us have never really had the mind of the people to say, yes, I am a patriotic Nigerian and I want my nation to move forward, whether I'm here or not. So even in years to come, I want to live a nation that I would be proud, when I'm over and beyond, and say, yes, I left this nation for these people, for the people to come, and, it's just a better and a flourishing nation. The moment we start to have better leaders, I promise you, Nigeria would be a better nation. In fact, all the other countries that people are moving to will have they cannot even stand, against us. But sadly, the people that we've had as politicians have just not done the best. And I hope that they start to, so that everyone comes back and we start to put our hands in the plow and make sure that this nation grows forward. All right, that's it for our top trending stories. We'll go on a short break. We'll look at the weather. When we return, we'll be reviewing the papers. Please stay with us.